Hello, you. This library is home to the largest collection of tomes in Celestia. Naturally, we have books from both continents, as well as a collection of inscriptions from the archipelago. That said, there are books that have not yet found their way into our stacks. Namely, From the Far Reaches of Hell. Oh, I think we know that book. Know that book very well. Dispatches from Beastling Island, and The Curious Legend of the Great Wall. Hope against hope that we may one day count all three of these most unusual tombs among our collection. Oh, I have it. Okay. Well, Cyrus did say that you shouldn't hide information, so I guess you can have it, for better or worse. Dispatches from Beastling Island, The Curious Legend of the Great Wall, and even From the Far Reaches of Hell. Oh, thank you. At last these three elusive, unusual tomes are ours. Must have them transcribed at once, so we may share them with the world. Or, well, two of the three, it seems From the Far Reaches of Hell, truly is written in an unknown language. Need to decipher said language if we are to reveal its secrets. It was an archaeologist by the name of Georges who was good at that sort of thing. Fortunately, he set out on a journey to a remote island. Doubt we'll get very far in deciphering the book without his help. But that has little to do with your achievement in collecting all three tomes. Offer my deepest gratitude on behalf of the library. Okay. Thanks, I guess. Hello? Ow. Oh, I remember you. You're Kit. The young man traveling north alone. He is the prince of a kingdom on a distant continent, or so he claims. For some reason, he is unable to give further details. The objective of his travels is also unclear. The prince of a kingdom on a distant continent. I wonder what that means. I might if I just take that real quick. Actually, what skill do you give? Just out of curiosity. Cleave in 2? Okay. See you again. It's me, Al, remember? It's been quite some time since our last meeting. Are you well? I hope so, as I could use a bit of assistance. I should rather like to read this tome From the Far Reaches of Hell, but look at it. It's written in a language which I can make neither head nor tail of. I can read nothing save the title. It's not a language of this land, nor is it one from my homeland. Oh, I see. So you are a prince from Octopath 1, then. I don't remember any owls from there, though. How might I possibly go about deciphering such a work?
The hunter, you're the prey.
Hello.
Ready?
Hi there, how are you doing?
Friends.
How much damage does limb from limb do now? I'm curious.
Allow me. Who's next?
Not insignificant
I
damage,
still have
okay.
much to learn.
Good to know. Managed to fell a gigantes? Hello, I didn't even notice you. My word, that is a great boon. You've saved me from certain death. So absorbed in my exploration of the area that I had no idea I was wandering into its territory. What a pitiful end that would have been for one George's, it's not that hard to say. Lazuli. Okay. Who, I hear you asking? I am a student of the ruins of this great wide world. Albeit not one of much renown, I'm sorry to say. Be that as it may, if you have any questions, fire away. Actually, I do have a question. Or not, I guess. Oh wait, there you are. Finisher's Clause, what does that do? Ooh. Let me just take that.
Whoa.
H student. My alarm's going off. An H student of still more ancient ruins around the world. Bright, cheerful, and nimble, his undimmed curiosity continues to drive him from even in his old age. Of necessity, he has become a skilled linguist and codebreaker with particular expertise in deciphering ancient documents and inscriptions. Neat. Study the world's ruins have, and you pick up a few things. All the other linguistic scholars look like children, if you ask me. Through the power of beating up a giant monster, I figured out the solution. Homeland, I have found it. Think you can decipher from the far reaches of hell? That's incredible. You must teach me how. There are things I've come to understand in my travels. They all lead back to this tome. I must know what knowledge is contained within its pages. Thanks to you, I have some idea of what's written in this tome. Confirms my suspicions. This tome may be an ill omen. Well, it's called From the Far Reaches of Hell. It's not gonna have nice things in it. That said, you fought me twice running now, so it's time I pulled my weight. It's a fascinating world we live in. Now all that remains is to dedicate all my effort to the task at hand. Till our paths cross again, dear friend, do be careful on your travels. Alright. See you, dude. Okay. The Gate of something. Based on context clues, I think I can figure out what that is. And we're gonna walk into it anyway. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I recognize this place. I know this place very well. I know this place very well indeed. Am I not gonna fight anything here? Oh, hey, Al. Things aren't looking good for you. You. No, you must stop. It's too dangerous to go any further. You don't know who you're talking to. You must turn back. You're just... Are you just dead? What? I thought you were gonna... Well, I'm not gonna turn back. Except I should have run. I should have run far, far away from this boss. Because you see, I have about 23 hours of footage of just fighting this boss. And a little bit of grinding too. But mostly just fighting this boss. Let me just try to explain to you what happened. My first strategy was effectively to have my B team, you know, all my like 4 weakest characters, to fight the Eye, so that when I fought the second phase, I would have a decent chance, you know, all my 4 strongest people. That's amazing, right? That's not how it worked out, but we'll get to that. I don't remember how I took out the Eye in the first game, really. I think I mostly had Hanitz just spam Drifendi until we won. But that took forever, and Drifendi doesn't do much in this game. So I had to think of something else. That something else was Brand's Blade. It's basically the strongest attack in the game under most circumstances, you know? So I thought if I just have Warrior Achet, you know, she'd be able to take care of everything, because if Hikari's so strong and he's a warrior, you know, Achet would just be slightly weaker because she doesn't have all the best gear, because that's going to be safe for phase 2. But regardless, this is how it turned out. Ah, that's a shame. I figured out about this point that the Ape Mountain King I got, I think it was around Temenos' chapter 4 in that swamp area, right before you get to the cave. It has a skill called Double Cleave, which hits every enemy for X type damage twice, which is really nice. Just an unboosted Provoke Beast triple monkey. Takes down all the souls, or breaks them at least. And then Hired Help can also do it if Torn Order is unlucky. But Petitio wasn't doing much aside from Hired Help. So I just replaced him with Merchant Throne, because Merchant's a good class with Hired Help and Done BP and all that. Sidestep could be useful. And Aubers. I say Brand's the strongest attack in the game, but Aubers probably stronger, because the skill's off 2 stats instead of just the 1. So I thought that would help more, which it didn't.
This isn't ideal. How could I fall? Never doubted.
think it was time for a new strat, where I tried replacing Thorny with Hikari, because since he's the strongest character I've got, I thought I could just easily, not easily, but easiestly, take down the Eye for Phase 1 so I could at least see what Phase 2 had in store for me, so that I could just figure that out, you know? But then I'm out of a Merchant, you know, because I can't have Merchant Hikari, because I need Arms Master form, because Lionheart, but whatever. The rest of the fight wasn't too big of an issue until the final phase, where the final phase is, I thought it was almost impossible to deal with without certain setups. What happens is that once you get him to red health when he gets to the final phase, he summons all the souls again, then he eats them or absorbs them or whatever. He just regains a little bit of health, because why not, you know? Gets 4 attacks a turn, which is very fun, you know, that's essentially an instant party wipe. And if that wasn't enough of a middle finger to the player, he gets 16 shields. 16. Which, honestly, any more would actually be an issue, but 16 is just enough to where if I have one character just max boost attack with Axe, Dagger, or Staff, I think that's what his 3 weapon weaknesses were, and then have Ochette use a max boost to provoke beasts, she can take down 12 shields at once, so not an issue then. The breaking wasn't an issue, it was trying to do the give or take 160,000 damage before he recovered from the shield, and just party wiped you because 4 attacks in a row, that just one electrocute takes down most of the party, you know? I figured out eventually, after a couple of attempts, that if I had Hikari use his latent skill with Hyenka, or Hyenka, however you say it, he attacks twice and then gets another turn at the end of the turn. It does about 40,000 damage. It can do more with a crit, but you sometimes don't get enough room to do critical scope. But at the end of the turn that he gets for using Hyenka, if he uses the Arms Master skill Lionheart's Axe, it does about 70,000, which is pretty nice. And if you get to do it again next turn, because if you break right, you get 2 turns. Usually if you defend with Ochette and then break the Eye then you get the 2 turns. You can actually manage to take down the boss, which is nice. But that was just Phase 1, that was the warm-up for the real fight, you know? I'm 5.5 hours in, and I just finally got to the second phase of the fight. Let's see how my first attempt goes.
To the likes of you.
About that well. Obviously the correct choice would be to change my party a bit to fare better against whatever that was, you know? No. Like I said, I spent 5.5 hours coming up with that strat that beat for the first phase. I don't want to just restart, you know? What I am going to do is swap Cassie and Temenos, though, because I feel like their roles fit better for that phase, you know? Where Cassie can just repeatedly give everyone boost, HP, and SP and everything. And then Temenos, with Prayer for Plenty, he can just overheal everyone so that we don't just get one shot like that happened. My best idea for damage for Phase 2, though, because I lost Hikari, was just spam Auber's Reckoning with Thorne. And hope that I could, like, effectively do what old Barrack did, but a bit worse, you know? In the first game, where he would use Winheld's Battle Cry, and just do a whole bunch of damage a lot. But that didn't work as well.
Never doubted for a second.
It was at this point, about 14.5 collective hours fighting this boss, that I finally just bit the bullet and looked up a guide. I first followed Neoseeker's guide, and with the exception of swapping Oswald from Phase 2 with Agnia, the strategy was more or less the same for Phase 1. The EX skill I think it was called Divine Brilliance. It's not called that when you Aliphan him, it's called like Sacred Effulgence or something. But regardless, you use that skill to effectively just one-shot all the enemies. You can't one-shot Galadera because he's invincible until you take down all the other enemies, but you know what I mean. Two-shot, I guess. I don't know if I did the setup wrong, or if my stats just weren't high enough because I didn't use nuts right, but I wasn't able to one-shot all the enemies at once like the guide said I would. I was only able to one-shot just the sword arm, you know? I tried to improvise a bit and use Auber and hired help to make up for whatever damage the guide did that I didn't, you know? And it did work, I did take down the rest of the guys. But then you get to the final phase, you know, like phase 2, where Galadera effectively absorbs the other, like his arms and his face as enemies and puts them into one enemy. So he gets 4 attacks a turn, he gets stronger. It's not fun. I needed to think of a new strategy, I think. I tried that same strategy for about 3 hours, and it didn't work. So I eventually looked up another guide, maybe that would help. There's not a lot of guides, you know, not a lot of like actual like setup guides. I eventually found one by a YouTuber named Nali. I don't know if I pronounced that name right. I'll have both the video and their channel linked in the description, along with Neoseeker, because even though it didn't work for me, it probably works just in general, just didn't work when I did it. If you want a full in-depth like explanation of what my setup was, look at Nali's video, because I just effectively used their guide, you know? I just did a little bit different stuff. The abridged version of what to do was, for turn 1, you want to have Ochette break the souls with Provoke Beast, you know? And then have Throne use her Latent and a Reinforcing Jam so that she gets the max boost and her Latent back. And then immediately use Alathan on Oswald. If Cassidy goes before Throne, you can just forego the jam bit, because you just want the boost from that, effectively. And you already get it with Cassidy, so you can ignore it if you get Cassidy first, but usually you're not going to, because Throne is just a lot faster. When it does become Cassidy's turn, though, you want to just use Concoct to give everyone as much BP as you can. And then, just immediately that turn, assuming Oswald doesn't go first or something, have him just Kamehameha all the souls straight to Octopath 3. Then, with turn 2, you just have Cassidy do whatever you need to that turn, just have her spam Concoct every single time. Then have Ochette break the eye, you'll have to use a boost, but that's fine, you know, you have so much by this point. Have Throne use her Latent again to use an Ancient Curse Talisman, which gives the eye a double debuff, so, you know, boosts our damage a lot. So that when we do Aubers here, we do the damage cap, because I gave Throne all the like speed and damage nuts, because I was a fool. But it worked out here. And then you have Oswald Kamehameha again for somewhere around 20,000 damage. And then in a perfect world, everyone before turn 3 can just refill everyone's health and boost. But that didn't happen with this attempt that I'm showing here in the B-roll. So improvising is fine, you can just do whatever you want. I got lucky with turn order a bit, so I was able to skip straight to the Eye's last phase. Usually end up with the second to last phase where the souls come back but put a permakill curse on the entire party, which isn't fun. But it doesn't matter too much, because you can just effectively ignore it if you just have Ochette break everyone. And then just have like Auber's Reckoning and One True Magic everyone. But in reality, where I got to the final phase of Phase 1, he gets 16 shields, you know. I defended with everyone but Oswald because I needed him to give himself a jam so that he got his latent, because even though I like Oswald, he's not very useful in this fight without latent, you know? But in order to break the enemy, I used a max boosted just attack, you know, so 4 dagger attacks. And then Octopath used the max boost provoke beast to break. And then with Casty, I just had her just give us everything that we needed, you know? Just prepared for a final big burst of damage. And then all it took was an Auber and Ochet's latent power to take out the boss, and I didn't even need Oswald, so that was nice. But Phase 2 is where the fight gets a little interesting, you know? Because the guide didn't fully work here like it did with Phase 1, because Hikari had about 100 less attack than the guide said. Because I gave all of my attack nuts to Throne because I thought she would be good to use for the Phase 2, you know, spamming Aubers. But that didn't work, so I didn't have any attack nuts anymore, so I had to think of some other things. But here's what to do, or what I did. For turn 1, you want Particio to CLT Shikari so his attacks hit everyone. We're gonna need that a lot. Agnia will then Lion Dance Hikari for both the attack and the BP boost because of the old man that I got way earlier in the game. Temnos didn't have a whole lot to do in this particular turn, so I just used a Reinforcing Jam to give Party back his latent and his boost, which became very useful later. And then, when it gets to Hikari's turn, you want to defend, and then immediately use a Limb from a Limb to kill everyone. That one's still alive. I deviate from the guide here a bit by making Particio bribe Satan here, so that we have a bit of extra room, so that Hikari can actually kill the arm next turn. And, like I said before, this is where Galdera gets to his final phase, where he's just way stronger, you know? And if he gets even one attack in, I'm probably screwed. So, we'll figure that out later. For now, I use Aelfric on both Hikari and Agnia, so that they both get an extra turn. And then, when they get their turns immediately again, you want to have Hikari use the Ancient Talisman like we did before on the eye, so that we do more damage, you know, it's self-explanatory. And then you want to have Agnia use Windy Refrain, so that we don't have to deal with those phases, with those attacks for now. And ideally never, but we'll see how that goes. While we have this, like, full turn before real shit goes down, we should want to do as much damage as we can. Like Hired Help from Particio, Heavenly Shine from Temenos, that doesn't do a lot because I didn't send him up for it, but it does enough. And even Ruinous Kick, because damage is damage, you know. And then, according to the guide, you use Limb from Limb, and you take down the boss. Shit, he was supposed to go down there. This wasn't my first attempt with this guide, so I knew that was gonna happen, kind of. And every time I get to this point with using this guide, this is where I lose. But this is the first time that I had Particio, like, move after Hikari here. So I had a unique opportunity here, where I could bribe Satan so that he didn't use his turns, so he did a little less damage, you know? Because less turns, less damage. And then on his final turn where he couldn't bribe Satan anymore, because he just gets too expensive too fast, you want to... I just did like a final Hail Mary for an assassin, max damage. It does like 40,000 damage. Surely that covers it, right? No. I actually genuinely thought that would have killed. I've got nothing else. Oh right, Ulfric. Galdi just took away all of Hikari's boosts. He had 2 boosts, and Goldie just said no. So I have to hit him with an unboosted 10 Restus on here. I thought that it'd do like 10,000 damage here. And that wouldn't be enough. But, you know, go down fighting, you know? No! That,
For the
no
pride
way!
coup.
That was a Hail Mary. Oh my god, no! What? That hit 30,000 hit, that was unboosted! I don't even have my headphones on. What the fuck? Holy shit! I thought I would feel nothing but relief. I'm actually kinda hyped, holy shit! It's been forever! I'm a genius! Only my brain could have come up with that strategy. Near the end, when I improvised. Holy, I didn't think I'd see the day. Cannot be my power wanes. Oh, I got pretty close, my dude. That was a pretty good fight. Ah, see you in Octopath 3, you asshole. Hey, dude. Can't believe my eyes. You've done it. You've sealed it away. Yeah, I can't believe it either. Since the moment we met, you've saved my skin time and again. You have my deepest thanks, travelers. Things should be fine now, at least for a while. That was way harder than it was in the first game. Holy shit. To tell the truth, I came here to find a tome from the far reaches of hell. Well, I found that out a while ago. Before I knew it, my journey led me here, to that nightmare. Yeah, that's an understatement. Now I can finally return home. Okay. Couldn't have done this without you. And for that, I want you to know my true name. Oh, this is gonna be good, isn't it? I am Alfred Hornberg. Oh, that? I don't know what that means. So we meet again, friend. Is this game a prequel? What? And he can just teleport. Sure. And we're done. Okay. Okay. Holy shit. Oh man, I hope the post commentary has anything to say. I'm speechless right now. I don't really have anything else to say except for that boss, Caldera. He was the hardest boss I have ever fought in a video game, you know? It was a great boss. I hated every second of it. Can't wait to kick his ass again in Octopath 3.